Low-maintenance pets you should be buying for your kids. Number 10. Guinea pigs. Guinea pigs require more work than most of the animals on the list. But they're great for kids because they're social and easier to train than other small mammals like hamsters. However, your child will need to be willing to clean their enclosure frequently. Lifespan 5 to 8 years. Maintenance. Guinea pigs need access to hay at all times, and they'll also need a variety of pellets and vegetables. Refilling their food bowls once a day should do the trick. Guinea pigs themselves stay fairly clean, but they're constantly eating and pooping, so their enclosure should be spot cleaned regularly. Space. One guinea pig needs at least 7.5 square feet 30 inches by 36 inches of space, and two should have at least 10.5 square feet 30 inches by 50 inches. Their enclosure should be long instead of tall since guinea pigs love to run. Commitment. Guinea pigs are social creatures, so they need to be housed at least in pairs. They love exploring and interacting with their humans, so they'll need a kid who can commit lots of playtime to them. Guinea pigs love to get floor time outside of the enclosure for at least an hour per day. Number 9. Parakeets. Parakeets, also known as budgies, can make great pets for gentle kids because they're small, social, and can form a bond with their humans. However, the child needs to be patient and take the time to get to know their budgie. Lifespan 5 to 15 years. Maintenance. Budgies need to be provided with seeds, pellets, and ideally, fruits and vegetables daily. Along with their balanced diet, their enclosure needs to be washed about once per week. Space. 18.5 by 18.5 by 18.5 is the absolute minimum for one budgie, but bigger is better. They need lots of horizontal space for flying. Commitment. Budgies like to live in groups, so if you want one, you'll need to buy them at least 1 or 2 friends so they don't get lonely. These birds also love to have flying time outside of their enclosure. At least 1 to 2 hours of flying time per day is a great way to give them exercise and help them bond with their humans. Number 8. Turtles. Turtles can be great pets for older kids, as long as they're okay with having a pet to admire rather than cuddle with. There are many turtle breeds that can be kept as pets, and many of them have long lifespans. So, if you get your child a turtle, you need to remember that the turtle may still be alive when your kid is an adult. Lifespan 15 to 30 years. Maintenance. Young turtles will need to eat every day while older ones only need to eat every 2 to 3 days. Most turtles will need to eat a variety of plant and animal food sources, but research your turtle-specific species. Their tank will need a deep clean every 2 weeks or so, but you may need to spot clean between those times. Space. It depends on the size of your turtle. Small turtles, between 4 and 6 inches long, need at least 30 gallons. Turtles that are 6 to 8 inches long should have at least 55 gallons of space. Finally, any turtles over 8 inches should have 75 to 125 gallons. If a tank is too small, their shell may not grow properly, so bigger is always better. Commitment. Turtles require a more detailed tank setup than most pets. They'll need both land and water space to explore, and live plants are always recommended. Aside from basic needs, turtles do not need to interact much with their owners. Number 7. Ants. Ants may not seem like a popular pet, but they're a low-maintenance option that can offer an educational experience for kids. Kids can watch the ants to learn how an ant colony operates. Lifespan. A few months to a few years. Maintenance. Ants eat a lot, and they're not picky. So, you can give them some food daily. Grains, sugary foods, and fruits are all options. Minimal cleaning is needed other than picking out dead ants and other dirt from the substrate. Space. You can buy enclosures made specifically for ant farms. The sides are clear so you can see what the ants are doing inside. You can even build your own ant farm if you'd like. It should be at least 0.6 to 1.2 inches wide. Commitment: at least 20 ants are needed to get an ant farm started, but bigger ant farms could work with 100 or more. Ants don't need to interact with their humans, so other than observing the ant behaviors, kids won't have to do much. Number 6. Rats. Even though a lot of people are squeamish around rats, they're one of the best pets a kid can have. They poop significantly less than guinea pigs and rabbits, they're trainable, and they don't live long. Lifespan 2 to 4 years. Maintenance: rats need to be fed every morning and night. Their diets can include rat pellets, fruits, vegetables, and grains. Their enclosure should be cleaned about twice per week. Space: each rat should get a minimum of 2 cubic feet in their enclosure. Rats enjoy both long and tall enclosures, as long as they have plenty of space to move around. Commitment: rats are social animals, so you'll need to buy more than one to give them the best lives. To keep them healthy and entertained, they should spend about an hour or two outside of their enclosure each day. Like dogs and cats, kids can teach rats tricks if they're patient. Number 5. Rabbits. Rabbits have similar care requirements to guinea pigs, but they live longer and can do well living solo. They can be playful and friendly like dogs and cats without the extra care requirements. However, they need a kid who doesn't mind cleaning up after them. Lifespan 7 to 12 years. Maintenance: rabbits should always have access to hay, and they should be served vegetables and feeding nuggets twice a day. A rabbit's enclosure will need to be spot cleaned regularly, but deep cleaning only needs to occur once a week. Space: one rabbit needs an enclosure that's at least 6 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet, but the more space, the better. They need room to hop around freely. Commitment: if your rabbit's enclosure is on the small side, you should give them time each day to run around outside their hutch to get their exercise in. They love playing games with their humans, and rabbit toys can keep them entertained. Number 4. Hermit crabs. Hermit crabs are easy pets, but they shouldn't be touched often. They're docile but may pinch if stressed, so they're not ideal for kids who want a cuddly companion. Many kids like to admire their beautiful shells. Lifespan up to 15 years. Maintenance: hermit crabs need to be offered food every day. They can be given pellets at all times, and fruits and vegetables a few times per week. Their enclosure should be spot cleaned as needed, and the substrate should be changed about once per month. Space: 10 to 20 gallons is a good size tank if you only have a few hermit crabs. Yet, you can always give them more space if you wish. Commitment: hermit crabs do best when they have friends around, so buy them in pairs or small groups. They're not fond of being handled, so they should stay in their enclosure most of the time. They like to search for new shells, so kids can choose their favorite shells to put in the enclosure. Number 3. Bearded dragons. If your child prefers scaly animals to furry ones, bearded dragons are one of the easiest and most peaceful reptiles you can choose. They enjoy interacting with humans, and they're more tolerant of being handled than other lizards are. Lifespan 7 to 15 years. Maintenance: adult bearded dragons should be fed once daily. They enjoy both plants and animals, so vegetables, insects, and worms are favorites. If your kid is squeamish around bugs, this isn't the pet for them. You'll also need to spot clean the tank regularly and change the substrate every few months. Space: 20 gallons is okay for a juvenile bearded dragon, but by the time they're full grown, you should use at least a 40 to 55 gallon long aquarium tank, but 75 to 120 gallons is ideal. Commitment: bearded dragons can be a long-term commitment because of their age, but they don't require much time on a day-to-day basis. Playing with them can help them get used to humans, but frequent human interactions aren't necessary. Number 2. Betta fish. Betta fish, also called Siamese fighting fish, are beautiful and easy fish to care for, so they're great for a kid's first pet. However, they shouldn't be handled, so kids need to understand that they're a pet to look at only, not to touch. Lifespan 2 to 5 years. Maintenance: betta fish need to be fed pellets once or twice daily. The amount you need to clean the tank depends on the tank's size, but most tanks only need a partial water change every other week. Space: do not keep your betta fish in the small bowls they sometimes come in. Bettas need at least a 5-gallon tank to live their best lives. Bettas should live alone because they're naturally aggressive toward other fish. Commitment: bettas aren't a big commitment at all. Once you have their tank set up with places for the fish to hide, you only need to take care of basic feeding and cleaning tasks. However, if kids want to interact with their fish, they can teach them some tricks. Number 1. Sea monkeys. Sea monkeys are the ideal first pet for a kid because they require almost no work. They're a type of brine shrimp that comes to life when the eggs are put in water. They come with a kit that has everything you need to get started. Lifespan up to 1 year. Maintenance: sea monkeys only need to be fed once a week with the food that comes in the starter kit. You only need to spot clean the tank occasionally, which can include partial water changes but never a full water change. Space: sea monkeys come with their own tank, which is suitable for even adults. However, if you want to buy a different enclosure, a 1-gallon tank is plenty of room for them. Commitment: other than feeding and admiring sea monkeys, there isn't much else that needs to be done. Everything you need comes in the starter kit, so they're the lowest commitment for a pet you can find. Referred to rank or calm.